Fellas, I had one question for y'all. Samantha Irving or Jada Parker? Brian, you go first. My bad, y'all. Go ahead.
Why not both of them?
You said both of them?
Both of them. Come on.
All right.
AEW is back. Highest ratings for AEW Dynamite since April this past week. Has everyone talking about, is AEW going to be back up to 1 million viewers by the end of the summer? Well, if this past week is any indication, then it very well could be in the cards. This past week's Dynamite registered a 0.27 in the 18 to 49 demo and 795,000 viewers on average. For reference, Dynamite over the past 4 weeks, according to WrestleNomics, has averaged just about 690,000 viewers just the past 4 weeks. But this one, a significant increase. If you're looking for how much they increased from this past week, we saw an increase of 15%. And it was right again, an increase of 100,000 viewers on average. A little bit more information before we get the fellas in on this. The match between Ospreay and MJF was by far the highest drawing thing on the night. That kept viewership for that first hour over 825,000 at minimum. And then things kind of fell off, as they naturally do with any show as you go on. But, fellas, as Kenny Baum likes to say, is AEW headed in the right direction, number one? And number two, will they get back to 1 million viewers by the end of the year? Kenny Baum, hit me with it.
Well, Big Om, I got to tell you, this week episode of Dynamite was absolutely amazing. I loved the whole thing, but the ratings actually surprised me because usually in these Iron Man matches, like when they do these long matches, apparently they can't hold the audience. So for these two to actually hold the audience and keep the highest viewership of the show, I think that is really impressive. Now, as far as them getting back to 1 million before the end of the year, I don't think it's going to happen. But you know what? I think that's fine. They should not be in 600,000s, though. They got to stay away from 600,000. They need to get out of 700,000. I think 800,000 viewers a week is okay, as long as we can stay above that point. But getting to 900,000, I think I would look at it as a big success, and that is where they need to hang around because we need to get as close to that 1 million as possible. But if we can't hit it, because it's been so hard to do that since this company started, I wouldn't even push that limit. You know what? If we can get to 900,000, I think they're cooking, and it gets them back on track from where they were before.
Wow, a very subdued Kenny Baum today talking about AEW. I did not expect that. But one person whose comments we need to hear from, just Brian. What do you got, bro?
Oh, listen, man. Listen, man. Listen. All right. Regardless of my personal opinions and however I feel about how they build the show, how they build the matches, it obviously works. And I got to give them credit for that. It works. $7.95. That's a huge boost for them simply because we've seen where the ratings are at. I mean, we got 500K last month. You know what I'm saying? $7.95 is huge for this company. And I think that if they continue doing this, bro, I'm not cooking them, bro. Give me a second.
For this company,
bro, because we talking about their ratings, hater. Anyway, what we talking about here is, bro, I think that right now they are doing pretty well. I think that if you continue doing what you're doing, putting on these crazy matches, it does remind me a little bit of WCW 2000 with all these crazy matches. But if it works, if it works, I think that this is a good solution for AEW. And hey, man, it's all right with, doing different styles of wrestling and booking a show differently. I think an alternative is always nice for those that want to watch that type of stuff and for those that don't. So, hey, I think they're living up to the alternative of what is supposed to be the WWE in terms of this. So, just my 2 cents.
Well, we're gonna jump from the hater to the lover, Mr. Valentine. What are your thoughts? Is this a good sign for AEW?
I'm hating, bro. I give y'all my honest thoughts.
You got too much under digs in there.
This is you loving it. I would love to see you hating it, but I like it. I enjoy this facts that you've shown us in the beginning of the video, Omer, because I see the consistency. Like it's not 1 week, like 600, and the next year 700. No, it's been consistently building up. Now, my worry is that they had this awesome match with MGF and Will Ospreay. Like, you gotta come check it out, right? Like that's gonna bring people to that show. How are they gonna be able to now do the aftermath? And that's my question. If they can consistently are able to raise ratings to a 900, like Kenny said, 800 even, coming from a low of 500, that's a success. And if as long as they can keep going forward, I will consider it as a success, and I will never really crap on that, because that's good. The more that AEW gets watched, the better for all of us, because then WWE is gonna see that and they're gonna be like, oh crap, okay, we got to do something here. And so I'm happy with these news, to be honest with you. Like, I disagree with a lot of things that are going on in AEW, but if they're doing good, I'm certainly not gonna crap on it. And from all the numbers, I think they're doing pretty decent. And but I'll be honest, I'm not too hopeful, because again, the follow-up is the tricky part, and AEW has been notoriously bad with those, right? Like a new big wrestler comes in, and most of them don't hit. As one example, Jeff Hardy, or you can just keep on counting. Like what happened after with Wardlow when he got that.
That was a different.
Jeff Hardy cooked himself. Jeff Hardy cooked himself.
Jeff Hardy cooked himself. You're right.
Wardlow is a perfect example of that, though. Not following up, built him up to have him lose at Big Business. I never saw dude again. I'm not gonna lie. Where is he?
No, he hasn't been on TV since then. He's missing. So actually, you all touched on something that I want to just circle back to, and then I want to actually talk about the big news of this Warner Brothers Discovery deal that may be coming in the next few days. But I think about the follow-up, and also about AEW kind of changing things up, and can they keep this consistency? From what I have noticed, and I think I've come on this show, I've said it on my show a bunch of times, that June 15th edition of Dynamite, the one that had the 500,000 viewers, I said it then, that episode to me was an example of a dramatic shift in the way that Tony Khan and the entire committee that puts together the show, structured the show in a very positive way, right? Because one of the things that made AEW great back in the day is the fact that they would make it must see and structure it in a way where, you had a bunch of stuff hit you, but it all made sense for the most part. And you had a big moment every show. You had a can't miss moment every show, a can't miss match, something to keep you hooked. And I think they got back to that formula for the past month, and it has been consistent. And it's we're not having a situation on Dynamite where you're just having thrown together matches with your biggest stars. But you actually have storyline elements that have been running for weeks. And I think that, again, consistency is king here. If they are able to continue this same formula that they've had, and again, I want to keep in mind, right? People want to look at this show, you're going to talk about the Fairfax show, the June 15th, Juneteenth, though, that was the lowest rated Dynamite ever. The reality is the rating for, your show this week isn't determined by what's actually on the show, or how the show is actually perceived. It's more so how you build up the show in the weeks leading up to it, right? Yeah. And I think, if anything, this shows that AEW is doing a significantly better job at building up their shows recently than they were before. So hopefully it's a step in the right direction. But you know what else is a step in the right direction? Guys, AEW is on Max right now. So internationally, AEW is popping up on Max. Past episodes of Dynamite, past episodes of Collision, and the pay-per-views are available on HBO Max internationally, not in the United States yet. Tony Khan has been seen in recent interviews sporting the only Warner Brothers Discovery hat that I've ever seen. Probably the only one that's made ever. A lot of signs are pointing to good news for AEW in this TV deal. I think we are heading up very close to the exclusivity window with they're negotiating with Warner Brothers coming up. I think it's basically like we're coming to a point here where it's a done deal. But Brian, let me know, what do you think about this? Is AEW on the cusp of getting this huge deal that we've been talking about for months?
I mean, it looks like something is signed, bro. I mean, I don't see why Tony Khan would be wearing a Warner Bros hat and the stuff will be popping up on the app. And personally, bro, I'm a huge fan of this. Like, if pay-per-views will be on this app, which we don't know if live stuff. Do you know if live stuff would be on this app as well, or you think that's gonna remain on DAZN and all that extra stuff?
We don't know yet. My guess is live stuff is going to go over to this like bundled venue sports app that HBO, ESPN are going to put together.
Fair enough.
We'll see.
So personally, I love this. Like, I love the shows being accessible for me to go back and watch if I want to go watch. And I think having it on demand, I think is great, bro. I think that this will result in a big win. I do get HBO Max for free, so I do love that. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be watching some AEW stuff, but just glad, man. Like I wasn't I was very aware about AEW when it started. I watched the first couple shows, but I didn't keep up with it all the way. So if I can go back and watch some of those classics, like right there, I can look it up and watch it just how WWE has it on Peacock. I think that's a great thing, man. So looking forward to it.
For sure. AEW, some of those early shows, man, some of the best pay-per-views ever in any wrestling company, man.
I mean,
they were on a roll when they started. But I think this is a good thing for them as well. We see WWE moving over to Netflix. So I wonder if AEW is going to do that where they completely move either the pay-per-views or whatever over to HBO Max. I mean, they've been negotiating for a long time. So maybe HBO said, listen, if we're going to pay you this amount of money, we want the pay-per-views too. You're not going to be getting money on the side for that. We'll give you all of the money here up front, but we want those pay-per-views on our streaming platform. So I think that would be a big win. I mean, hey, and maybe it's a possibility as well. So we'll see.
I look at it as a done deal. I think it's almost 99% happening.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk too big, but yeah, it looks like it.
No, I mean, with it popping up on the streaming service overseas, I mean, something's happening. Like, you have to go upload those. That just doesn't happen by itself.
No.
Yeah, I think that's clear. I mean, like, I'll be honest, like, I think like a lot of fans, I saw that and immediately checked my HBO. I was like, oh, let's go. And that's a good thing. Like, people getting excited. It harkens back to, like, when the original WWE Network started.
Agreed.
Like, part of what made WWE, I think, like, more accessible and honestly like more popular back then was like the ability to go back and watch like its best moments in a very easy to use form. And I think they can replicate this and like people like Brian who weren't really around for a lot of the early stuff, like you can go back and watch like some of those classic moments and be like, oh man, they were cooking here. And like it also like connects like different pieces of lore that people may not know about.
So I can watch it and be like, yo, what happened? I'm just kidding.
How did this ship sink?
We don't talk about 2023. It's just
I'm just joking with y'all.
Cody versus Dustin Rhodes, Orange Cassidy versus
that match was hell.
Pac at Revolution.
CM Punk versus MJF at Revolution.
I'm glad.
Kenny doesn't want to hear that one.
Hey, bro, you can't take that away from him, Kenny. You can't take that away from him.
It wasn't good.
Omer.
Oh my.
Y'all want
to look.
Anyway,
you compared this move to basically WWE bringing up the WWE Network, but I also compare it to WWE going to Netflix. I feel like this is like the basis of that. AEW, how are they going to compete? We made a video about this actually months ago. I think this might be the way.
I think this is a good thing too, because when you look at it as well, Netflix and WWE, they're together, but HBO Max, I feel like it's right behind Netflix now. I think they've caught up with some of the shows that they have on there. So having AEW on there keeps it right on par, in my opinion.
I still look at
imagine
Netflix
watching
or not though.
Imagine watching like House of the Dragon and like getting an AEW commercial. That's gonna be crazy.
I mean, they're already doing it, right?
That's the other thing, though.
They're already doing it.
Like,
yeah, but I feel like these companies need that exposure though. Like, I think both of them can use it. Like, you have such a
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you have so much people that don't watch wrestling that could possibly connect with it just by seeing an ad or just having it even autoplay after a show. Yep. Like, there's just so much that can happen, and I think that this is great for both companies, in my opinion.
And y'all like to bring it up a lot. A lot of people don't have cable anymore, so if you got AEW on HBO Max, when people are using HBO Max, they be like, "Oh, this wrestling thing that they've been showing me commercials for, it's on here. They might just click on it. Maybe turn it on as like a background thing just to play while you're cooking or something, and then it grabs you. Now you're in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's me. I'm the only reason I have YouTube TV is so I can watch a Dynamite and Collision. That's it. But y'all let us know in the chat, what do you think about the AEW ratings? Are they good? Are they bad? Is AEW cooked? We want to hear from y'all in the comment section. Also, let us know if you think AEW is going to get this deal with Max. Are you excited? What pay-per-view are you going to watch first? Let us know. Also, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and remember to kiss that ring.